And winning in life isn't having money. To me, winning in life is having the most happiness.
Mm.
And being most fulfilled and successful in life is your mental health and how and the people that you have around you, right? When I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about it, I was just going through it on my own, and it's psychological torture on its own, telling yourself that that it's not real. It came out of me because it's something that I enjoy doing, and I like to create. That's my favorite thing to do is to create.
Sabrosura pa' ti que qué.
Welcome back to Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast que comparte nuestras historias sin censura. El día de hoy, we have a conversation with Sara Abigail Vera. Abigail is an artist, entrepreneur, and creative visionary who's loved storytelling, board games, film, and so much more since as long as she can remember. Her biggest inspirations are her friends and family who she's always trying to make laugh. She came up with the idea for this board game in a summer when she was just 16 years old. And this conversation with Abigail is first, I think she's the youngest guest we've ever had at Cafe Con Pam. So she's still not even 18 years old. And I was like, "Is your mom gonna be there?" And the mom was like, "No, she can do the interview," which she did amazing. And I think she's so inspiring because at such a young age, we talked about what it was like for her to deal with school bullying. We talked about mental health. We talked about how she turned her struggle into this amazing board game that she created. And now it's ready for you to purchase. So I think this is a conversation. If you have young people in your life, definitely something you can listen to and tune in to. We don't necessarily talk about we don't go deep into the bullying that happened. So I don't think I need to do a trigger warning around that, though we do talk that she was being bothered and how she turned this challenge and what she was dealing with into something awesome that helps others and can support other people's mental health, which I think it's amazing. Y sin más, here's my conversation with Abigail Vera. Abigail, welcome to Café con Pam.
Thank you.
How are you doing this morning? How's your mental health?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I think I'm just a little tired because I'm not used to waking up early.
I know. I saw it's 7 o'clock, listeners, and I saw the booking come in, the calendar invite at 7, and I was like, okay, she must be an early bird.
It was just the best time that we could schedule for, but it's not that I'm an early bird at all.
She's like, it's the only way I could, the only time I could.
Yeah,
Okay, so the first question we start with is, what is your heritage?
I am a Mexican. Mexican American because of where I live, but Mexican in my blood.
Nice. And you're in California? You're in El Centro?
Yes. Well, right now I'm in Imperial.
Okay. So I love your story because you not only decided to speak out and speak up about mental health, which is something that, especially in Latino families, is kind of taboo still, like
Yes.
I started Café con Pam back in 2016, and my friend Priscilla, her Instagram name is the Humble Therapist. She I asked her to come to Café con Pam to talk about mental health once a month because to me mental health was so important. And people listening, my friends, would tell me, "You're such a privileged girl because you get to talk about mental health. We don't do that. We just go to work o nos ponemos a limpiar or whatever it is." And I was like, oh, how sad.
Mhm.
No? And this is back in 2016. Since then, things have changed, thankfully, to the better. We're not quite, I don't think, at that place where, you know, Latinos can freely talk about mental health, especially men, I think. But I love that you decided to not only say, I'm struggling with this, but also you created a game. How long did you deal with it without telling anyone?
With my mental health struggles, for at least a year. And I know that it was mainly because of that culture of like, oh, let's not real, or like let's not talk about that, or like no te hagas, like,
Hmm.
or like, oh, otra vez va a llorar, or like otra vez va a hacer esto, and like that's why I was always like, I always felt like, okay, like I shouldn't say anything, or like I maybe I'm not going through anything, this is nothing real, or like, and it's until like started learning like from school and stuff like that I was going through something, and like I needed to speak out about it.
So it was a few years.
Yeah, I would say because I was around 12 when it really was hitting me more.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's young. So here's the data. There's a confidence code for girls study that was done. And between 8 and 14 years old, girls' confidence levels drop by 30%. And you were 12.
Yes.
And so it proves the study true that between 8 and 14, girls' confidence drops, mental health challenges start appearing, and our overall well-being just kind of goes down the drain.
Yes.
And could we say that it's probably worst if you don't have a space to talk about?
Yes, it definitely is. Because when I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about it, I was just going through it on my own, and it's psychological torture on its own, telling yourself that that it's not real.
Totally. So what did you do?
Well, what made me speak up about it was that because this was during the pandemic.
Peor, ¿no?
Yeah. And so we were on Zoom, and so they would do mental health check-ins. My school would do like mental health check-ins, like we would fill out a Google form and saying like, how have you felt in the past week, or and have you felt sad, mad, anxious, or, and then I would fill out the things, and then and it said like, if you clicked more than one of anxious or mad in the last one, then you should talk to the counselor. And I did click off a lot, and so I realized that I was like, wait, like that kind of made me realize like, oh, this is something real, and I need to talk about it. So I contacted the counselor. I didn't tell my parents about it at first, and then until I met with a counselor, and she told me that I needed therapy and everything, and then that's when I told my parents about it. And at first, like they were kind of shocked, but they were supportive the whole way through.
Do you have siblings?
Yes,
What number are you?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the eldest daughter?
Yeah.
Welcome to the eldest daughter life. I'm an eldest daughter, and it's hard. It's hard to because you have to break the barrier, You have to
Yes.
be the first in so many ways. And how was it for you first to be seen? To literally someone tell you, "No, what you're going through is not in your head. What you're going through, you're not making it up. What you're going through is real." How was that for you?
Well, that it was definitely it was really like overwhelming, a little bit like shocking. I mean, I was already like, I was going through a lot of emotions, and I just felt like, okay, well, now I have this other thing that I have to burden people with.
Mm.
And so I've always like thought of like other people, and I not so much of like what I'm going through. I always thought like, what are people gonna think of me now? What are like now what's gonna happen now, or like why am I going through this? Why am I feeling this? And but I mean, at least I felt like at least there was a name to put on it. And even now I still struggle like with those same thoughts of like, it's not real, or like I'm not, because they're like, just like stop, like shut up like about those things, like it's just your brain, you're telling yourself things to get attention.
To get attention.
My brain tells me that. and it's really hard because it's like it says like, oh, like you're just doing this to get attention, right? Or like you're just faking it just so you could get attention, right? And people to talk to you, and it's just like it's obviously that's not the truth, but it's what I struggle with like a lot.
How do you overcome it?
I just every day I have to like tell myself that it is real, and I have to just like I have to say it out loud a lot of times, or like just like talk to other people about how I feel, and just saying like this is what I'm going through, and like and like just the people that I trust, and just seeing that um that it's not the end of the world. It's if it is something that like it's that I can overcome it, and I can still live functionally. I just have to work a little harder than most people.
Did you deal with bullying?
Yes.
Were you afraid to talk about mental health and then maybe be like, uy, más me van a molestar?
Yes. Um, because I think that's actually partly why my mental health went down was because of the
Of
bullying.
course.
I had a lot of toxic friendships growing up, and I would always again I would always gaslight myself and going like, oh, these are your friends, these people care about you, or these they're just like it's your fault, you're the one that's being bad. Like I would tell
Oh
my
my god. Our brains are mean sometimes.
Yeah, and I would be like telling myself like, like I need to fix it. I need to do something better. I need to be a better friend. Why am I being selfish? Or like I and like and so and really what it was is like they would always just be they would never care about what I had to say.
Mm.
They would like we would always just do whatever they wanted to do. And when I would say anything, they would just like they would ignore me or just look at me weird, like as if I said something weird if I try to include myself in the conversation. Because it's not like I would try to talk just about myself. I would hear what they were talking about, and I was try to like add something to it. Like they were saying like, "Oh, we went to the pool," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I went to the pool too. I did this right." But then they would like shut me down, or I would say a joke and they would pretend like they didn't get it,
Hmm.
or I would feel overwhelmed a lot and like I would start crying, and then they would immediately just try to get me to shut up. They would be like like calm down, Abby, calm down. It's not a big deal. Just be cool. Like stop crying. And like and um and so I was already like kind of like being um conditioned like to like you can't show your
To
emotions.
shove it down, yeah.
Yeah, to shove it down. And so and then like they would always constantly like make fun of me, like saying like your family's weird, or you're and they would say like um or they would say like, oh well, we're 2 years older than, because one of them was 2 years older than me, and she was like, oh well, I'm more mature than you, so I know more than you. And I was like, I'm 10 and you're 12. It's like-
Right.
and so but I'm sure you're more mature than me, right? And so um and she would be like, oh yeah, you're or like I know more, I have more experience in my life, so you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just dumb, or like and
Were they from
and
school?
these ones I had inside and outside of school. It was just like,
Kind of all over?
yeah.
Because you live in a relatively small town, no?
Yes, so everyone knows each
Todo
other,
el
like,
mundo se conoce.
see.
So when you finally went to that counselor and the counselor was like, no, yes, there's something happening. What did you do with the friendships?
Well, those I for sure I had let go of them. And
How was that for you? Did you así dejaste de hablar con ellos?
well, it was hard because what happened was that we moved away to like we're still stayed in the same county we've always been, but moved to like different cities within the same Imperial Valley. So
Mhm.
back then I was living in the smallest town in Holtville, so that's why we all knew each other and everything. And so
Mm.
and there was this moment like where I actually told them how I was feeling. Like I was saying like I feel ignored. I feel like you're being like say mean things to me, and then like that. And then one of them she didn't say anything. She just kind of stayed quiet. And then the other one that hurt me the most, she just said like, "Oh well, that's not our problem."
Wow.
Yeah,
And you're like, well, then you're not my friend.
exactly. And so like that's when I decided to let go, and I was like, yeah, I just like I'm not gonna. I already tried to fix things, and they just and it's like, okay, it's not your problem, then you're not my problem either.
Mm. So it was easier, no?
Yeah, it was a little easier, but it was still hard because then I felt like because then I didn't have anyone else. I didn't have any
And
friends.
then you moved,
Yeah. And so I was like I felt really lonely because I felt like the only friends I ever had weren't really my friends.
and then you let go of them and you have no friends.
Yeah. And that was really hard for me, and I think all of that because of the anxiety that they would cause me, and like the self-confidence lowering so much of like me thinking that I was the problem and like I was doing
Mm-hmm.
something wrong or if something annoying, because they would always like think like I was annoying or like because I was more like outgoing,
Mm.
I guess, and like I was always having like organized plans, like, oh, let's do this, like this is a fun activity we could do together, and they would never listen to me, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm weird
Yeah,
then.
they were just not good people.
Yeah.
No? But 40% of teen girls feel extremely confident that they can make new friends compared to 55% of boys. So, and this is a binary
Hmm.
study, but girls are 18% less likely than boys to define themselves as confident. And this is a confidence study, so it's all about confidence, but I think it goes back to the mental health, no? Like
Yes.
1 in 4 high school boys think they would have a successful career in math or economics compared to 1 in 7 high school girls. And I would argue, based on what you're telling me, that there's so many other pressures that girls go through that
Yes.
may, weave that into the reality of it. This is interesting. Dads are 26% more likely to accurately estimate their child's confidence than moms.
Mm.
Now, I don't know who they surveyed, right? So I don't know if we could say that this is true for Latino parents because usually dads don't talk. I don't know. Oh, dads are significantly better at evaluating their son's confidence than moms are at evaluating their daughters. The error for moms is even more pronounced when their daughters have low confidence. Wow. The low confidence gap leads to women not defining confidence and valuing it well enough for themselves. Biases don't lessen as they age, leading moms to continue to expect more from their daughters as they were expected of them. So it's this trickle effect because women have this expectation and they almost put the pressure on their daughters and they inaccurately would say, you're doing fine, when in reality, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, as you are dealing with this, you move, you find yourself without friends, you have to make new friends. When does the game start? When do you get the idea of, like, let me start this game?
This was last year, exactly last year, last summer. Um, I've always really liked board games. Um, which is one thing that again, past my toxic friends, they didn't want to play those board games with me,
Mm,
but now I have friends who do want me to play board games with me.
nice.
And so there was one of my best friends, we really liked the game of life.
Such a long game.
Yeah.
You can play that game for hours.
Yeah. And my friend really liked that game. She was always like, she always she would come to my house and it's like, oh, let's play game of life. Let's play the game of life. But after a while, we kind of got bored. Like we already knew all the cards. We already
Mm,
knew like how it went. And so I was like, what if I made something that was more realistic and relatable to us? And so that's when I came up with High School the game.
nice.
And so that's when I thought like I wanted to make something that first of all that was more realistic. So in the sense of I didn't the one I did there were some critiques I had about the game of life, like for example that the the currency was money,
Mm.
right? And that the way to win is to have the most money.
Yes.
And so if you really think about that in perspective like of life, then it's teaching kids that life is about getting the most money.
Only about money, yeah.
Yeah. And like to me it's like, well, money is important obviously like for the essential things, right? But money's not going to buy you happiness, right? It's not going to bring you as much, really it's not going to guarantee you joy in life. And so it's and it's not, and winning in life isn't having money. To me winning in life is having the most happiness,
Mm.
and being most fulfilled and successful in life is your mental health and how and the people that you have around you, right? That's being successful in life. And so that's when I changed in my high school the game, so the currency is happiness. And especially because if it's high school, then high schoolers are broke, so
Mm.
there's obviously wouldn't make sense to make it money. So I had happiness, so because and that's where the mental health ties in. So the person with the most happiness tokens, or these little tokens, and the person with the most happiness tokens is the one who wins the game.
Mm.
And so there's different things in the game. So there's like I made it in a way that it was also relatable to teenagers. Like I wanted to make something that was funny also. Like it's really like interactive and like fun. But also like not taking itself too seriously. And like it's just like um it's just like it's a funny way of seeing, but it's if you really look at it, it's like real experiences that high schoolers go through, and like there's different decision making and events, and then there's classes. There's all these different things that are involved in it where
Within the
you
game.
within the game, yeah. And so, for example, there's the classes you get to see your grades, and then if you fail classes, a certain amount of classes, then you get a referral,
Okay.
and then three referrals send you to the continuation school.
So you flunk high school, basically.
Yeah, and then you stay there for 3 turns. So that's not a
Wow.
yeah, and then you can get referrals also from, like, behavior things. So, like, there's bad decisions that, cause also those, things. So, like, for example, a lot of there's, like, a lot of real topics that I wanted to also make sure that I don't like, the taboo, like, there's, like, around a lot of, like, talking about these things.
Yes.
So that's why I wanted to make sure to put it in there. So there's a lot of talk about drugs and vaping and, teen pregnancy, um, and there's just, like, a different things, but those are, like, the main bigger topics that shock most people.
Mm.
And I include those because it's real, and like that's what high schoolers are doing, and that's what going on right now. We need to know like what's happening with high schoolers nowadays. And it's important also like for high schoolers when they play the game to really see like the effect of their decisions,
Mm.
because when you make a bad decisions in the game you lose happiness.
Mm. You lose your tokens?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
And then there's good decisions, and then with good decisions, like for example there's ones like, oh, you volunteer to help out the community, or like, oh, um you tutored someone for in their math homework or something, and then or like, oh, you there's one other one that says you got a scholarship and things like that, and like those give you happiness because those are good things, right, that you
Mm.
did. And then there's event cards where those are like randomized. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. It just depends what you get. And that represents the things in life that you can't control.
Okay.
So those are either good or bad, and they're just things that doesn't matter what kinds of kind of person you are. It could happen to anyone. Like so there's different things like there's a lot of references also to like Mexican culture,
Mm.
like the Mexican American culture. Because I've had other people like play it, like from we went to LA for a gaming event, and there was people there that are not Hispanic, right? And they noticed that there was a lot of Hispanic influence in it.
Nice. Did they like it?
Yeah. So that was nice because it's relatable to everyone in high school, but it's especially relatable to Hispanics in high school.
Good. We need games that talk to us.
Yeah, exactly. And And so there's, for example, there's another section in the game. This is something that my friend came up with, was relationships.
Mm,
So people can get in relationships. They can choose to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they pick randomly. They pick the top two cards of the pile of the boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they have to pick one person. And they have like stats, like they say like this person's this tall and they're this age in this grade, and they like to do this. And then it has a picture of them and a name and everything.
okay.
And there's different, like it's a variety of, there's good ones and bad ones. Some that it just depends on your taste, but um but there's a lot of Hispanic characters in there. I have a lot of like Hispanic last names in them.
Good.
Like there's yeah, so there's a lot of like, so there's some ones that are not right, but a lot of them, like at least half of them are Hispanic characters.
How long did it take for you to create the game?
It took me 2 months.
And you were in summer break.
Yeah.
So is that all you did?
Yeah, for my summer break, that was the whole thing.
And you were 16 years old.
Yes.
Were you ever like, I want to go outside and do summer things instead of like putting brain power into making this thing?
I did do summer things, right? Like I still hang out with my friends and everything. But I mean also, like when my friends would come over, I would ask them like, "Oh, do you have any ideas for," and like,
Mm,
no, because with, especially with that best friend that inspired me kind of to make it, with her, like she helped me write a lot of the cards. And so like we would have like sleepovers, or we would get together over the summer, and we would just like
how
write,
fun.
we would write the cards together and like make the characters, and it was really fun. Um, 'Cause, like we would come up with funny ones, and like, but making sure that they were like relatable also at the same time. And like again, like this was a game that I made just for fun, really.
For sure. But now you're selling it.
Yeah, and I never expected to for it to be a thing, and now it's like
A thing.
yeah. And so now, and I'm really excited about it. I really like what how I like to talk about it, if it wasn't obvious. um but it's really fun, honestly. Like I really enjoy it, and like even um like my friends, when they come to my house, like, oh, let's play high school the game, like.
Nice.
And like even when because I would take it to school also, like almost every day. I would just take it carrying around that box all around school, and just to have people ask me what it was also.
Smart. It's
Yeah,
marketing.
yeah. And then every time I had like these certain classmates, like they would always say like, can we play, can we play? And like I would just like set it up because it was almost like a free period, so we would just like,
Uh-huh.
we would just play all class. And
Nice.
they even learned it to so that they could like, play all within the span of the class period, because sometimes we weren't able to finish, but they got a rhythm to it and they were able to finish it every time.
Huh. Here's the thing. Latina families have been saving money forever. From reusing plastic containers for comida, folding up plastic bags under the sink, and diluting dish soap with water. The last thing we need is to pay fees to access our money, right? Was in case you didn't know, BMO customers have access to 40,000 fee-free ATMs across the United States. Plus, their BMO Smart Advantage checking account has no monthly maintenance fee. Learn more about how BMO can help by visiting bmo.com/checking. bmo.com/checking. Conditions apply. Accounts provided in the United States by BMO Bank and a member FDIC. Let's talk about something we all deserve: financial empowerment. Whether you're tackling debt, planning for retirement, or starting that dream business, navigating your finances can feel overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be, thanks to Savvy Ladies. Savvy Ladies is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping women like you take control of your financial future. They offer free resources, webinars, and my favorite, a free financial helpline where you can connect one on one with trusted financial experts. And yes, it's completely free. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or need guidance on a specific challenge, Savvy Ladies is here to provide quality and trusted advice you can count on. So why wait? Visit savvyladies.org today and connect with the financial helpline to get the personalized support you deserve. Your journey to financial independence starts here. That is savvyladies.org. Your path to financial freedom can start today. So I wanted to give you a another stat because you talk about teen pregnancy.
Hmm.
There was the University of Washington did a study based on a national survey of 1,719 teens. So it's not huge. It's not a huge survey, but their ages, the 1,700 teens were ages 15 to 19, and this is the first population level education of the that they study the effectiveness of both abstinence only and comprehensive sex education programs. So what the results showed is that it's not harmful to teach teenagers about birth control in addition to abstinence. And what the study found is that comprehensive sex ed reduces teen pregnancy. And so I love that you include this conversation in the game because it's real and
Hmm.
it's something that happens. And data shows that the more we talk about things that we don't talk about, the less taboo they become, the more
Hmm.
aware we become about them, just like mental health, just like substance abuse, just like teen pregnancy. And so, well done.
Thank
This
you.
is awesome. So, how was it for your parents for them to be like, you're making a game? What?
Honestly, they weren't surprised. Um, because I've always been the kind to do that. I've actually made another game before, that I had made with one of my friends, and so that's why I was like, oh, let's just make another game, just like a casual thing, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna make a whole other board game.
Nice.
But it was, yeah, and like I had told my mom like, oh, I'm making this board game, and like I would show her like, oh, look, I finished the design for the board, and she was like, oh, that's nice, and like, and then I told her like, I asked her if we could print it out, like if we could make have it made, and she said yes, and so like we invested in making it, and so like again, it was just gonna be a one-time purchase. It was just gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like to have it for my friends, but one day I brought it to school, like the first day and that I brought it to school, and there it was a finals week day, so it was like a we had already finished testing, so we were just like they were making gingerbread houses. I think it was like a little contest.
Nice.
um so so the vice principal and like some other school officials, they had came in so they could judge the gingerbread contest. But then they saw what we were doing over there, that I was playing the game with some of my classmates, and they saw like, what's that? Like I've never seen that before. And then that's when it all started, and that's when like I said like, oh yeah, I made it, and they're like, you made it? And I was like, yeah, I made it. And so like, and so then they were saying like, and especially they got really excited how it features the local schools,
Mm.
so they're in the
So it's a
game.
very local game.
Yeah, so then they really like that there's like, oh hey, that's Central, that's us, like that's our school, and like I was like, yeah, and so and that's when the vice principal, she was like, no, I want to buy this,
Nice.
and she said like, I'll buy some from you, and like, how much is it? How much is it? I'll buy it from you. Just come by my office and I'll give you the money. And I was like, wow, and that's when I was like, well, I was never planning to sell it, and then that's when
Yeah.
it all started. She encouraged me to just push through, and I we immediately like we I came home and I was like, guess what? Guess what happened? And like and and that's when all this happened, and I would have never imagined that like I would be having a business now, and like I'm and like I would be like pursuing this, like I'm actually like considering this as a full-time thing. Like this is something that
Nice.
I really enjoy.
So the principal says, or the vice principal says, I want to buy this. And you're like, okay. You came and told parents. What was the next step that, how did you figure out how to make it into a business?
Well, the first step, we were for sure like my parents were like, okay, well, for sure we have to make it legal,
Mm-hmm.
because that way like nobody steals it. So we started looking for immediately we started looking for a lawyer. And so we found a lawyer that was like specially for board games and everything. And so we met.
What? Those
Yeah,
exist? That's awesome.
yeah, because it was like for intellectual property, right? But he was like especially like interested in board games and like experienced in that.
How fun.
So that was awesome. So that was really cool. And so he was from San Diego, so we met there. Um, like I skipped a day of school just to go over there, and
Nice.
and they excused me, so because my mom
Nice.
explained. And so we met, and then we just like talked about like like the copyright issues and everything. And so I had to change some things in the game, like some of the cards, some of the pictures, because of the
Claro.
copyright.
Yes.
Entonces, then I had so once I had everything like changed and legalized, then we put it the game high school the game. We have it list in process for trademark to be
Nice.
trademarked, and then more recently I put the actual board in the process for copyright. Like,
Nice. Do you think you're gonna be like, is this the thing that you'll do as you continue to grow up? Just create games, board games?
yeah, I think so. I mean,
How
I know,
fun.
yeah, I know, and like it's something that came up so just like so randomly, right? Like that I was not expecting, but I mean, really, it came out of me because it's something that I enjoy doing, and I like to create. That's my favorite thing to do is to create, and I mean, um, that's the main I feel like God wasted all the talent on that, and then he didn't give me any sports abilities or anything like that. cuz cuz with that I'm really bad. So you just put
Can
all of
come
it.
up with new things.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like, because you had created the other game
Mhm.
and you are an avid board game player, so that gives you some element of awareness and knowledge on the topic. But did you ever think like, I don't know how to make a game? Or was it just something so that came to you so naturally?
Honestly, it came naturally to me. I didn't really do much research. I mean, all I did was just like I looked at the game of life and I was like, okay, what elements from this can I use and then what can I change? And then I got a piece of paper. I actually wrote down a piece of paper and I was like, what are all the things that have to do with high school?
Mm,
Like what are all the things that are in high school? And then I started writing, okay, there's classes, right? And then there's events, there's this happens and that happens, and then I decided, okay, how can I make that into a game?
nice.
And so then that's how I started. And actually, the actual game, like making the game, like the whole concept and all the rules and everything, that took me 2 days.
Look at you. This is awesome. So, who is the game for? Who is, so I know it says 13 plus,
Yes.
but is this for high schoolers? Is this for families to sit around and play it? Because as I was looking at it and looking at the cards for the relationships and like the life things that could happen, it made me think that besides the fun of playing, and I love the description of like relive your worst years. Get ready to relive the worst days of your life in this hilarious new twist to a realistic high school experience. Balance grades, relationships, sports, and make the right or wrong decisions as you roll the dice in the race towards graduation. Careful though, you don't want to end up repeating the semester. Collect happiness tokens along the way and win by being the less depressed, the better. So, I would think that if I play this with, if I'm a high schooler and I play this with parents, not only is it fun to kind of like, um, explore, but and have fun with the game, but also engage in conversation
Exactly.
because maybe parents can be like, wait, this is happening, like
Yes.
these are the conversations that you're having, or this is something that you're around.
Yes.
And it might just open the door in a gentle, fun, different way for parents to have the conversation.
Yes, for sure. And that's definitely like what we had thought of. Like, because it's not only for high schoolers, it's also for parents, right? So for
Mm-hmm.
parents to see, and then also for educators as well, for schools to see also, because then
Claro.
and so they can see like okay, like this is what kids are going through, how can we help them, or how can we start conversations with them? Because one thing is that I feel like adults have a lot of trouble talking to kids, and like to relate to them and actually get to them, and like have them listen to them. And so this is a great way so that they feel comfortable with the game. This is something that it's not just like all the adults forced it on me. This is made by someone, one of their peers, right? I made
Yes.
a game for my peers, and so they get all the jokes, they get the humor, and they get the stuff that is happening. So then with that, they're more open to talking about those subjects when it's not presented in such a serious like way of like, oh, you're in trouble, like almost like, oh, we're gonna talk
Nice.
about this because we think you're doing it or something, or like it's more of just like let's talk about it. And that's it's definitely it's to start conversations for sure. And that's the main selling point. Like that's a lot of things that's the main thing that has gotten the school's attention, was that they can use that as a teaching tool as well.
For sure. That's awesome. So tell us all the places and spaces where we can find the game, where we can connect with, to buy it, to connect with you, etc., etc.
So I have on hsthegame.com. That's where I'm selling it currently. We're working on getting it soon to Amazon, um, and other places, but right now it's currently on my personal website, hsthegame.com. And there on the website I have also some other videos, like some other interviews as well, and things that like just talking about a little bit more about the story behind this. And but on there is directly, it's a really simple process to just buy the game. And actually, like for your listeners, we have a 10% off discount code. Stay shining.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And then and we have an Instagram that's at high school underscore the game.
Okay.
And so that's where we've been posting like updates. And so that's where we're gonna post like once we're in stock, because right now it's a pre-order. um but we already ordered inventory, we're just waiting for it to come. So
Nice.
we should expect it around September, like the beginning of September. So
Amazing.
that's when we're gonna get in the more. So then people who pre-order, they're already getting kind of like a discounted price. So right now it's at $50. And what else? Let's see. So we're posting it on there, and then eventually we might make a TikTok or something like that. Since we're just starting off, but right now it's
Yeah.
the Instagram and then the website. That's our main streams that we have.
Amazing. This is awesome. Super cool. So we'll have all the links in the show notes, and make sure you get your pre-orders. Use the code Stage Shining, get 10% off. We'll have that code there as well. This is amazing. The less depressed, the better. That's funny. I'm looking at the website. So, Abigail, thank you for coming to Café con Pam.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Anything you want to share that I didn't ask?
Um, no, I think we went through most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is awesome. Congratulations. I was so excited when I met you through Imperial Valley SBDC actually, and they did an interview with you, and you've been working with them. So I was like, wait a minute, a high schooler created a board game. Let's go. And so also I want to give a shout out to the team at Imperial Valley
Yes, they've been a big
SBDC
help.
for sure. Okay, well, thank you for coming to Café con Pam.
Thank you.
Bueno, listeners, if this podcast has ever inspired you, there are some ways you can support so we can continue making this happen. Free ways: leave a rating review on your podcast app. Of course, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, thumbs up, share this episode with whoever you think will enjoy it. If you feel called to support us with a coffee a month, you can join the supporters club. You get exclusive content, you get early releases to episodes, and so You can join. The link is in the show notes. You can also check out my work, cafecompam.com, where you can find, of course, all the episode notes. And my body of work is there so we can work together if you feel called to as your handy dandy life coach. If you are part of an organization, you can also hire me to speak. Let's bring conversations like this to more other people. Of course, let's stay connected on the socials at Café con Pan Podcast on all the places and spaces. Muchas gracias for listening. Una vez más, nos vemos pronto y sigue brillando. Sabrosura pa' ti que